Citi 97.3. Accra.
94, 95, 96. 97.3 City FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Ejibi Wiafe Akinting.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
And I dare say that the outcome of the election in 2024 would have been different. But I've said it way before, we even voted, after we voted, before handing over.
11 months after the crushing defeat of the New Patriotic Party at the polls, the blame games continue. Tonight, we hear from former Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend Ntim Fojo, who is blaming his former boss, Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, for the defeat. He says the results of the election would have been different if Akufo-Addo had signed the anti-LGBTQI law. Also, coming up, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin refers the nomination of Chief Justice Paul Bafo-Boni to the Appointments Committee of Parliament. We hear from lawyers of the former CJ Gertrude Tokonu who are opposed to the new appointment. And later on Eyewitness News,
the Labour Act expects that you should also have some leave. Some leave is done all over the world. Members of Parliament have leave.
the interesting proposal from Speaker Alban Bagbin for members of Parliament to be given annual leave in addition to the usual recess they embark on. Stay with 97.3 City FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
T-bill yields expected to stay stable despite weak investor demand.
That's in 50 minutes from the City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations. In Western Region, we are on Beach 105.5 FM, Sky 93.5 FM, and they are both based in Takrady. In Ahafo Region, we are on Hammers Radio 106.5 in Goso. In the Bono Region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In Ashanti Region, we are in Kumasi on Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM. In Volta Region, we are in Tajevu on Revival 99.3 FM. In Northern Region, we are on Radio Bimbela 91.9 FM. In the Upper East Region, we are on Mike 105.3 FM in Navrongo. In Upper West, we are on Tungsung 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa 96.1 FM in Jirapa. We're live on YouTube and live on Facebook. Look for City FM. We are interactive. Join us with your messages 0549 986 996. We can also be reached by Twitter, now known as X, the platform where you can use the hashtag to reach us. The hashtag is Eyewitness News. Mention my handle at Umaru Sanda or at City973. Recall the anti-LGBTQI bill. Well, it was brought before Parliament. I think 8 members of Parliament or so, 7 from the NDC, 1 from the MPP. They brought that private members bill to the House of Parliament. After lots of back and forth, the bill was passed. But between Parliament House and Jubilee House, the bill staggered. It never got signed by the president until the government changed. Tonight, the only NPP MP who was part of the group of 8 MPs who went to Parliament with that bill is blaming Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo for the defeat of the MPP, more specifically on the issue having to do with the non-signing of the anti-LGBTQI bill. Let's listen to what he said to our correspondent in Parliament, Ni Aikwe Okwane, earlier today.
When my government was in power, I was very bold and vocal every stage of the enactment. And even when it was passed and the bill suffered legal challenges for which Parliament could not transmit it to the president, I was bold even to say that if these obstacles were removed and if President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had been able to sign this bill, it would have served this nation a lot better, and it would have even enhanced the image of my party. And I dare say that the outcome of the election in 2024 would have been different. Would have been different. It would have been different. The outcome would have been different. I've said it way before, we even voted. After we voted, before handing over, I have said it so my position is consistent. My position then has not changed. It will not change now. And so let's all proceed with that consistent principle and do what is right for our country.
So that's Reverend Tim Fojo. He's former Deputy Education Minister, Member of Parliament, Asin South. He's joined us on the line. Reverend, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tomorrow.
Your party is looking for a new leader. It's been 11 months since you lost the election. Why are we still discussing what led to your defeat?
Yeah, so that is the very unethical posture of the old team, which must be first pointed out, because that wasn't the subject of discussion, but that was what they twisted on various news cards, stating that failure of Akufo-Addo to sign the bill is what cost MPP our defeat in 2024. You have just played a video. Before you play the video, you read the commentary that one of members of MPP is blaming President Akufo-Addo for our loss, which was quite misleading and not the case. You played my voice, and Ghanaians have heard everything I said. In which of the voice that you heard did I blame President Akufo-Addo? I stated clearly that everybody is aware the legal challenges the bill suffered, even when it was passed, for which the Parliament's hands was stayed by court from transmitting same to the President. And by the time that Supreme Court ruled over the matter, injunction was lifted, election was already held, 8 Parliaments had already come out. So in which of these does it suggest a statement or the caption that is all over on your online portals? I think I've been untreated unfairly, and that with a good posture I know Citi News to consistently have, you will do the needful and correct that headline and put exactly what I said there. Because see, what this would do is that it will create a lot of disaffection, and it might create people who would have supported the stakeholders, the majority Ghanaian media and every stakeholder who mattered and helped and supported this bill right from the beginning till now, to have a different view. We don't want to
Reverend,
because the purpose of the bill.
Because you are directly attacking us, I want us to just hear what you said earlier and juxtapose that with what you are saying tonight. And I want us all to be careful in listening to what you said, so we see whether we misquoted you or you are rather distancing yourself from what you said in the past. So if you could just indulge me, can we play the audio again?
Very well.
Very well.
Please play.
When my government was in power, I was very bold and vocal every stage of the enactment, and even when it was passed and the bill suffered legal challenges for which Parliament could not transmit it to the President, I was bold even to say that if these obstacles were removed and if President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had been able to sign this bill, it would have served this nation a lot better, and it would have even enhanced the image of my party. And I dare say that the outcome of the election in 2024 would have been different. Would have been different. It would have been different. The outcome would have been different. When my government was in power, I was very bold and vocal every stage of the enactment, and even when it was passed and the bill suffered legal challenges for which Parliament could not transmit it to the President, I was bold even to say that if these obstacles were removed and if President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had been able to sign this bill, it would have served this nation a lot better, and it would have even enhanced the image of my party. And I dare say that the outcome of the election in 2024 would have been different. Would have been different. It would have been different. The outcome would have been different. I've said it way before, we even voted. After we voted, before handing over, I have said it so my position is consistent. My position then has not changed. It will not change now. And so let's all proceed with that consistent principle and do what is right for our country.
Reverend, so I've just played the audio twice. The sense I get from you is that you are saying that if the bill had been signed by President Akufo-Addo, and that if itself is based on the obstacles that prevented the bill from going to President Akufo-Addo.
Which obstacle I stated?
Which is in reference to going to court and all of that. So then you are suggesting then that the obstacles are to blame and not Akufo-Addo as president. Should that?
Very much so.
Very well.
Everybody listening will draw that conclusion. There's only one conclusion to be drawn. And I stressed that the legal challenges that the bill suffered and which even prevented Parliament from transmitting it to the president. I stated it. So how would I state that the legal tussles prevented and stayed in the hands of Parliament from transmitting it to the president to turn around to say President Akufo-Addo refused to sign it and his failure to sign it caused us the election? So that point is fair and it has to be, you have to revise those artworks that have already gone out and creating problems. But again, the point is that...
But just to extend it further, those obstacles that you talk about came about from your party member. In fact, a key member of your party in the House of Parliament who represents Akufo-Addo in the House of Parliament as leader of government business. If the buck stops with President Akufo-Addo and Akufo-Addo's lieutenant, quote and unquote, was the one who went to court to bring this quote and unquote or so-called obstacle, then the blame can still go to Akufo-Addo as president at the time who failed to sign the bill, for which reason you lost the election, like you said.
No, the point you have not acknowledged is that the case was already in court. Some parties had already gone to file injunction on it. It was as a result of that impediment which was already in place, which had stayed the hands of Parliament from transmitting it, and its matters are rising, which later, much later, events, misunderstanding around the tussle culminated in other further, legal opinions that brought this case you are referencing. But what was the primary, case? What was the primary injunction that had been filed, staying in the hands of Parliament from transmitting it to the president? That's if you are able to refer, then in all fairness, our viewers will know and understand that even if much later, interpretation that needed to be sought caused any member related to the president to seek that interpretation. It wasn't the obstacle. That wasn't the obstacle. The obstacle was there. But you see, this controversy...
So Reverend, one more thing. I think in my question to you, I referenced the leader of government business as being the one behind the legal challenge. I think that's inaccurate. I withdraw that. That's inaccurate. I withdraw that. And I also give it to you, actually, that it is the obstacles you blame and not the president, based on the repeated audio that I have just played. That is the sense I've gotten from what you have said.
And I respect you so much for your fairness and your very fair and accurate judgment of the whole matter.
Okay.
So, Umaru...
But just one more thing. Okay, so Kingsford sent me a message, and he says I should say to you that the president refused to sign the bill earlier before the courts were invited into the matter. Can that be an argument?
No, but how can a president refuse to sign something that has never even been given to him? How can the president sign a bill which has not been submitted or transmitted to him? You sign when it is transmitted, or you take an opinion on it when it is transmitted. And see, the good news is that despite all the plethora of legal challenges that this bill suffered right from its first reading, second reading, and third reading, and even the major challenge to do with the transmittance of the bill after it was passed, which matter could only be concluded and determined by the Supreme Court way after the election, we have a determination. And that determination sets the tone and gives every Ghanaian the hope that it is not expected that similar legal challenges will be bombarded this new one.
Okay, just one more point.
Essentially, it's the same thing that is going to be presented. But I just wanted to clarify that I've never said it anywhere, and I've never blamed President Akufo-Addo for the election outcome, neither for the event that happened for which the bill was not assented to.
Very well noted. Now, another observation, the Supreme Court decided on the bill on 18th December 2024. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was still president of the land. He could have signed that bill that you and 7 others worked thoroughly to ensure was passed by the House of Parliament, no?
Do you remember the incident of the Exxon Cubic, incident where the Parliament had passed a bill, and then that bill had even been assented to, but because it happened just around the time elections had been done, it was in transition time, and the aspiring or outgoing Parliament could not even have the time enough to complete its ratification. It was otious, it was null and void. It didn't become law. So we all know that there were legal challenges which stayed the hands of the president from signing it. And that point is not contestable. But be that as it may, moving forward, because we can't get back to 2024, we are in 2025 and we can only get into 2026. That is where we need to proceed forward and to hope that with all these legal impediments having been removed, we will make progress and give the good people of Ghana what 93% of them are looking for, as per the Afrobarometer survey conducted in 2021.
Okay. Now, one more on your personal actions. When you saw the obstacles and even saw that the bill was not signed after the obstacles or hurdles were cleared, if you felt strongly that this was something Ghanaians needed, which would affect the chances of the MPP at the polls, why didn't you go on a one-man demonstration at least?
But at the time, election was already over. 18 December, election was already held December 7th.
So it was pointless. It was pointless.
And so you only proceed from there, from what is left. And at that point, what is left is that you seek legal opinion. What can be done to redeem it? And at that point, with the expiry of the Parliament, at that time we're even on recess, hoping to just come and reconvene, just transition into the ninth Parliament. With all of that and the legal advice and precedents available, the only way forward is to restart and reintroduce the bill in the shape and form as it is, but going forward for a new Parliament to treat it as a new procedure. So that is where we are.
Where is the status of that bill now? The president, I believe, spoke some time back and said the government was going to own the bill. Does it mean while government is working on bringing that bill to the House, you and your other colleagues are still going to come through the route of a private member's bill? What is the status?
The private member's bill has been presented, has been gazetted, it has matured, and today, on the first day of the third session, or the third meeting of the first session of the ninth Parliament, it was duly advertised for presentation and reading. What that means is that any moment from today, in any session of Parliament, that bill can be called for first reading, and so that's where we are.
And this is outside what the government plan is.
You know, before President Akufo-Addo, before President Mahama would recapture power to become president January 7th, 2025, this bill was already on the top burner. It was already a matter that was on the heart and lips of every Ghanaian, at least 93% of our Ghanaians and major stakeholders and media. There was a legislation already in process and was in the form of private members' bill. So it's not a new introduction. Along the line, President Mahama duly supported, and as a matter of public record, when President Mahama indicated his support for the same private members bill and said that if he were president, he would sign it without hesitation. Now, all that shaped opinion ahead of the election, and these are some of the grounds for which I make the assertion I made. And then people who viewed him in a certain way as having support for, or openly declaring support for the private members bill, and may have taken their voting decision based on that assertion, now vote for him, and he's president January 7th. Now, as he's president, House says that no, now private members bill, he doesn't support it anymore, but a government-sponsored bill is what has to come. I think that discussion will have to be shelved until when this bill is passed. Then we will truly know whether he supports it or not, or his position has changed. But I welcome any idea or any commitment on the part of President Mahama to want to introduce a government-sponsored legislation in addition to what we are doing. Because every law that we make today augments laws we made 1960, 1954, 1970, some even 2000, some 2004. There are many bills pending now which were already there, and we are making further bills to augment it. So if we pass this, and along the line, it comes with another legislation to address certain dimensions which will even enhance, the objective, what we are trying to preserve, the values and the sanctity of our values and our tradition, and it brings further and even better legislation, we will all support him to make sure that bill also passes, to augment on what we already have passed. So we will not reject that commitment. In fact, we welcome that commitment, and we are looking forward to that commitment actually seeing fruition. So we support him in addition to this. So we are urging everyone to support us. The fact that the president has said that, it even requires additional and further legislation in a form of government-sponsored bill indicates that it's of great importance. And so in the absence of that, this is all we have, and this is what all must support. It's a bipartisan bill. When it is passed, any other additional will support government when he brings, as and when he brings it, he will support him.
Okay.
To pass it to augment on what we are doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you very much, Umar.
That's Reverend Tim Fojo. He's NPP Member of Parliament for Asin South. He's former Deputy Minister for Education. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. When we come back, the Speaker of Parliament is proposing annual leave for MPs.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
If you know these sounds, you didn't just live through the 90s. You lived the experience. Back then, connection took minutes. Today, it takes a blink. You express yourself with memes. You hold video calls across continents. You say hey to an AI who responds,
"Hello, Kwame."
You order rides, dinner, and dreams all from the palm of your hand. A lot has changed, so have we. For over 3 decades, EcoBank has evolved with you, leading digital banking in Ghana and across 33 African countries, pioneering solutions built around how you live, move, and dream today. From our express points to EcoBank Pay, online banking, and the mobile app, we are where you are. Here for today, ready for tomorrow. Now, that's change, powered by EcoBank.
EcoBank, a better way to bank your way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
The jamming never stops. The game never stops. The productivity never stops. The music never stops. At G&J, we keep your world powered with reliable generators, solar energy, and UPS solutions, so the power never stops. Your go-to for total energy solutions, making sure you work, thrive, and live life uninterrupted. Visit our website, gjtechghana.com, or call us on 0302-689-178 or 179 or 0202-222-220. G&J, your energy partner.
Dreaming big, thinking Africa.
UBA Ghana's got your back. For business growth and expansion, UBA Ghana's got your back. With a 6 billion after loan facility, UBA Ghana's got your back. With POPs, send and receive money anywhere, UBA Ghana's got your back.
UBA Ghana has got your back. With the 6 billion after loan facility, your business can grow, export and trade across the continent.
And with PAPS, send and receive money across Africa instantly. Now live on Leo, your 247 digital banking buddy. UBA Ghana,
connecting you to Africa's opportunities. UBA,
Africa's global bank.
UBA Ghana's got your back.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ah, Google me. I want time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind says be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my go be fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like Jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank accounts too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana Citi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. Let me bring some of the messages that you have been sending through. Hamdan Al-Hassan from Newini South says, congratulations to Mr. Bafo-Boni. You merited that office. We, the 2/3 majority, expect you to sanitize the court and wish you all the best. Keep on showing high ethical standards of your personality. This says, I learned that a former president of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, has been jailed earlier today to serve a 5-year prison sentence. Clearly, we in Ghana are jokers when it comes to public accountability. We have come to normalize corruption to the extent that nowadays people don't even want to follow the proceedings of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament. That's a message from We the People from Oyarifa. Another message says there are all indications that MPP will keep long in opposition. Abi National in Wa. This one says, good evening, Umaru. I strongly endorse the referral of Bafo-Boni for the position of Chief Justice. With exemplary legal expertise, integrity, and a commitment to justice, Bafo-Boni has consistently demonstrated leadership and dedication. His appointment would enhance the judiciary's credibility and fairness. I trust her in his capabilities or in capable hands, I think. That's Mausi Ayebi Esther from Abotia 30. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. And since you're all talking about the nominated Chief Justice, let's listen to what happened in Parliament today, Jubi.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babin, has referred the nomination of Paul Bafuboni as Chief Justice to the Appointments Committee for consideration and reports. This follows the removal of Justice Gertrude Tokunu as Chief Justice on grounds of stated misconduct specifically related to the unlawful expenditure of public funds. Paul Bafuboni was subsequently appointed as acting Chief Justice before being nominated for the position. Here's Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babin, speaking on the floor of Parliament.
Nomination of Chief Justice. Following consultations with the Council of State, conveyed by its letter dated 14th October 2025, and in accordance with Article 144, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I have the honor to respectfully submit for the approval of Parliament the nomination of Justice Paul Bafuboni as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. I accordingly proceed to refer the said nomination to the appropriate committee, and that is the Appointments Committee, to do the public hearing and submit a report to the House for consideration.
That was the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babin.
Now, not everybody is happy with that, especially not the person who once occupied that position that the president is seeking to fill now with Justice Bafuboni. I'm referring to the former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokunu. Ni Ayikwe Otu is a former Attorney General and lawyer for the former Chief Justice. He's joining us on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you for having me.
The understanding is that you have some reservation with the reference or referral to the House of Parliament and the subsequent referral by the Speaker to the Committee on Appointment. Can you tell us what your position is?
I don't know where you got that opener from. I thought all we know is that there's a matter pending in court. There's a relief asking that Parliament should not proceed with the vetting until the case has been dealt with. That is a position that I am aware of.
What's the basis for that particular relief you are seeking to stop the House of Parliament from continuing with its legislative duty?
Well, now you are all reading law, so you know something with sub judice. So I'm sure you are aware that when a case is pending in court, it's only fair that you don't interfere with the pendency of that matter. That is all there is to it.
But I also know that administrative duties ought to be performed, which include the one that Parliament is intending to perform. How do you cancel that particular principle against using your relief they are seeking?
As a law student, you say you have not heard of a matter which is sub judice. So whether the matter is sub judice or not, because it's an administrative duty, it should proceed. That's what you are saying. I would have expected that.
I'm not saying. I'm asking you, sir. I'm not saying.
And those who are not lawyers and who are not law students, at least if for nothing at all, you have read the Constitution, you know about the preamble of the Constitution. We all talk about the rule of law. So if we want to respect the rule of law, then when matters are pending in a particular arm of government, it's only fair that you allow those matters, to run out, as it were. But if you ignore them, what signals are you sending? You can go to court, but we would proceed to do whatever it is that we want.
But has the House of Parliament been injuncted from vetting a nominee to the position of Chief Justice by any court in this country?
Well, as I've said, fortunately you are a law student and you know that the fact that the matter is pending is itself sufficient to act as an restraining effect on whoever wants to take a decision. There is contempt in procedure, and there is contempt which arises as a result of disobedience of a court order. At least by now I know you know the difference between contempt in procedure and contempt which amounts to a disobedience of a court order. So it is not all the time that there must be an order of the court.
So it's not really about me. I think the case we are discussing here is for the benefit of those who are listening to us. It's not about what I have been taught or what I've learned in the classroom. And I think that it will be good if we restrict ourselves to the issue so that our audience will know what we are talking about.
No, I won't do that.
No problem.
I will use you because of where you are. You are reading law.
It won't help your matter, unfortunately, because what I know in my head, I have not shared with my viewers and listeners. But you would be...
It will help everybody because you yourself, you are a law student.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, sir.
That's why CNN and the rest, they try to bring in experts all the time.
I have a question for you, sir, which I hope will deal with this matter. If I had owned the land in Nongwa, which is a place you once contested to be MP, and I have someone trespassing on that land, and that person is building, for instance, and I go to court and bring that person to court for a determination to be made. If I do not also apply for an injunction from the court, is that person stopped from continuing with the construction he's carrying on?
I can cite him for contempt, and there are so many cases which I think you should have done by some of them by now. If you say in Balungu, where somebody says, I'm a Ghanaian, I cannot be extradited from this country because I'm a Ghanaian, he's in court, and then he's extradited. The same way you have Dombo and Na, all those cases, the people were cited for contempt, not because there was any order of the court.
My attention has just been drawn to the recent case of Eko Vincent Esafua, in which case the Supreme Court held that constitutional bodies are not affected by interlocutory injunctions. How do you marry that decision with what you are speaking about?
I'm saying that where there is rule of law, I expect the legislature and the executive to respect the boundaries of authority and to say that, look, there's a case pending, so why do we interfere? What happens if at the end of the day the decision that the lady is seeking to have cost is indeed cost? What happens to what you have done? So just that will be safe, or rather would want to err on the side of caution and to allow the courts to, do their own thing.
But the case I just referenced is under the rule of law. It's from the Supreme Court of Ghana, and that's a decision that has been made. Is that not binding on this proposal of yours?
The Supreme Court is not binding. The judgments of the Supreme Court, rulings of the Supreme Court are not binding on them. They can always change their minds.
Yeah, but until they change, it's the law.
It doesn't matter. It means that I can disagree with that one, and that they themselves, because they are not bound by their previous decisions, can also change.
Okay. Final question. Is Parliament a party to the suit? That's one. And two, whether or not it is, are you going to cite Parliament for contempt based on the case law you cited, Supra?
I'm not going to go into those matters. That matter for those who are there. The Speaker himself is a lawyer by profession, so he understands all the issues. So I won't go into that.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
That's Honorable Niaikwe Otu. He's a former Attorney General. For purposes of this conversation, he's lawyer for former Chief Justice Gertrude Isaba Tokono. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. And I am Umaru Sandamadu here with Ejubi Wiafia Kenton. Let's go back to Parliament now. The Speaker of Parliament today, when the House reconvened after having gone on recess, made a very interesting proposal. In addition to going on recess, he's proposing that MPs be made to benefit or enjoy annual leave per the dictates of the labor law. Listen to him.
We say recess. They recede from plenary session to engage in the other functions of the House outside plenary session. So they don't go, members of Parliament don't go on holidays or vacation. They recede to continue to do the work of Member of Parliament. I think it's something that we have to consider because the Labour Act expects that you should also have some leave. Some leave is done all over the world. Members of Parliament have leave so that you can rest. Those of us who have sacrificed all these years, we know how our families have been destroyed because you never have time for your family. You never have time for people dear to your heart, the people that you grew with, and sometimes they don't spare you. Please, let's think over it, discuss with our neighbors outside the Parliament, and at least get a few days to have some breathing space, if not to rest, but to share love with your immediate family members. With this, Honorable Minority Leader, you may proceed to make your comments.
So that's the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin. What do you make of that? Send us messages 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Let's move on to the economy now. An executive director of the Center for Policy Scrutiny, Dr. Edu Usu Sarkodie, has cautioned that the estimated $4 billion cost of implementing the Government 24-Hour Economy Plus initiative may be significantly underestimated. What does that mean? Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Hello, thank you, Mara.
So the government,
thank you for having me.
The government and indeed the party that birthed it, they promised 24-hour economy. They have come through, set up a 24-hour secretariat, and they've said, based on all the analysis, this is a figure that they are working with. You were saying that they got it wrong?
Hello, I cannot hear you well. The connection is not that clear. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
I'm asking on what basis you were saying that the $4 billion budgetary allocation or proposal by the government to implement the 24-hour economy is underestimated.
Okay, so first of all, in their own document on page 199, they have indicated that they expect to raise over $4 billion by 2034. In addition to that, they expect to raise $1 billion to advance as loans to SMEs. In addition to that, they expect to give about $300 million to the 3 special purpose vehicles. So the 3 times 3 will be 900. So if you put the 3 items I've mentioned together, that's about $6 billion. And even in their own document, they go beyond the $4 billion. And then we are also of the view that even if you put all together to make the $6 billion as it is indicated in their document, because they have not given us a full appraisal of all the line items, and they have also not costed all the line items, including all the projects, we believe that when they do the costing, the appraisals, plus the indirect cost here will be the giveaways, the tax incentives, which will be like a drain on the public finance. So if you put both the direct cost and the indirect cost, obviously it will be over $4 billion, as is widely said.
How would that affect the implementation of the policy? Because from what we have learned and seen, it appears the government is going to stagger the implementation of the 24-hour economy. So it's not a wholesale approach, but rather it will be a bit-by-bit approach.
Yeah, sure. So you are right in saying that it's not a wholesale, they'll do it bit by bit. In fact, the document talks about value chain, said that at every point in time, there's something must be done. Beginning with the agro, that's why their first sub-program is Grow Ghana, which is the agro-processing, the agricultural transformation. And so if we are able to get even 4 billion to start with, they will prioritize certain projects. And on top of the project, as I've read in the document, they have said that the Volta Economic Corridor, which is, in other words, developing economic activities around the Volta Lake, is the flagship of the flagship. And therefore, in my view, I think that is where they may start from. And if they can start from that angle, Ghanaians will benefit a lot. In fact, it will redistribute wealth. You know that development has concentrated in the southern belt of the country. So with that Volta Economic Corridor, it's likely to also increase development in the middle belt and the northern belt. So I'm hopeful that that's where they may start from. And if they do, then face it bit by bit, I think it's far better. But 1 year has already passed, and Ghanaians voted for them for 4 years. So I strongly believe that they may start, or they should start, in next year, and it should feature in the 2026 budget.
Interesting. Now, this your idea, or this your calculation that you have done. Would there be a need for a review by the Secretariat, or the Secretariat can still run the policy as is?
We invited the Secretariat reps, I think there were 3 of them, and we had even initial discussions with them before and after the forum, and they agree with us that truly there's a need to do a full appraisal of all the line items. But obviously, because we are hard-pressed with time, and I also understand that because if you want to start something from 2026, we are just 2 months away, then why don't you deal with the pressing ones first, do the appraisal, and then when you are done, you move on to the next. So they also agree with us that there's the need for a full appraisal, especially when government is not the only one committing resources to it. They expect the private sector to commit resources. So if you want somebody to commit resources, the person must have full complement of the cost elements involved, and to also assess whether or not it is worth investing in those projects.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you too, Mario.
That's Dr. Edu Susakodie. He is Executive Director of the Center for Policy Scrutiny, speaking to us on the 24-hour economy. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim has criticized the Office of the Special Prosecutor OSP over delays in the extradition process for former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. In a recent public remark, the Deputy Attorney General said the AG's department had made several requests for the case dockets, but the OSP is yet to make it available. The OSP has, however, denied any delay in the process. Despite the denial, Vitus Azim told Citi News that the Special Prosecutor must take responsibility for the delay.
I think it means that there is some kind of friction between the two institutions, and the Deputy Attorney General does not want his office to take the blame for the long delay in handling the Ken Ofori-Atta's case, and that's why he had to come public. And it's not the first time. The Attorney General keeps coming to brief Ghanaians on the issues that the cases that he's handling, and so this just to update Ghanaians on why the Ken Ofori-Atta's extradition case is still not being handled.
And what do you make of the OSP's response? They are sort of pushing back on the narrative that they are the one delaying the process.
Who initiated the process? It was not the special prosecutor. You said you issued a wanted. You said that he was wanted. So you had done some investigations and found out that it was necessary to look for him. So you initiated the process. So if there's a delay, why won't you be held responsible for that delay? You made it known to us that you had initiated the process of getting him extradited back from wherever he is. And so you raise Ghanaians' expectations. And if that's not happening, then we have a right to blame you for that delay.
That was anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Your family's health should never be a worry, no matter where you are in the world. Are you a Ghanaian in the diaspora, a foreign resident in Ghana, or a Ghanaian looking for the perfect health insurance plan for yourself or your family in Ghana? Then the Apex Ebusiapa Health Cover is what you need. A comprehensive health insurance plan to protect your loved ones. From hospital stays to life-saving treatments, we ensure quality healthcare at an affordable cost. Apex Ebusiapa Health Cover. You don't just send love home, you secure it. Visit Apex Health Insurance at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shashi East Legon, or call 0540-128-256 or 0501-683912. Apex Ebusiapa Health Plan. Global love, local care.
My head's a champion, creating temptation. 100% natural Kivo. Ginger, garlic, onion. No salt, no MSG. No preservatives. Steam them natural. Chicken, fish, and meat. Yes,
Kivo 3 in 100% natural ginger, garlic, onion powder. Incredible aroma. Champion taste. This advert is FDA approved.
Ginger, garlic, and onion. 3 in 1 Kivo.
Who cries calling me this other one?
Hello. Good evening, Kwame.
Good evening.
We are into baby foods and would like to introduce.
Wait a minute. How did you get my number? You just use ways and means to find people's numbers and be calling them by heart. No respect for privacy or anything at all.
Oh, Bra Kwame.
Is your business privacy ready? Do you collect and use information of people in your line of work, like their name, number, location? You might be doing the wrong things. Whether you're a big company or a small one, you must respect people's right to privacy. Register and be certified by the Data Protection Commission of Ghana. It is the law. You will receive the necessary training, advice, and guided on the right systems to put in place to help protect information you collect about people. Register your company. It's simple and online. Visit www.dataprotection.org.gh to register. Privacy is the responsibility of everyone. Remember, privacy is personal.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Luckiest Season 3 is back.
And I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket. Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
Or let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
One ticket can turn 1 CD into 500 times more. That's maths we love. Or your community go win 10 times more. So let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Oh, Jopana. Go. Gugomi. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The gogo.
Jopana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akintin. Let's settle for the details. Market analysts expect T-bill yields to remain largely stable in the upcoming auction, with a slight upward movement at the short end of the curve due to ongoing liquidity pressures in the market. This projection follows subdued investor sentiment toward government securities, as the most recent auction saw the Treasury raise 2.89 billion cedis below its 6.58 billion target. Speaking to Citi Business News, Nelson Kujo Kwabeji, head of finance at Melbourne Capital, said that while the auction performance was weaker than expected, the recent yield adjustments could help rekindle investor interest.
Don't forget that the treasury bill market is a liquidity management market for the government, where the government goes to borrow money for refinancing its maturing obligation, and where institutional investors also goes to place their funds that are idle. The increasing yield is just expected to attract investors. However, the yields are not really enough, and so investors are not really expressing interest in the treasury bills. But in the coming days, we expect investor sentiment to increase, given the fact that inflation is going down gradually. We expect investor sentiment within the treasury bill market to increase, and so the under subscription that government is recording, we expect that to reverse in the coming weeks.
Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital, Nelson Kujo Kwabeji. Now, peasant farmers have expressed concern over the inadequate funding of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, saying it is hindering the company's ability to purchase surplus rice from farmers. According to the farmers, the company's limited financial capacity has forced many producers to reduce their prices in a bid to sell off excess stock, leading to significant financial losses. Reacting to reports of a glut in rice production, the acting executive director of the association, Bismarck Norte, urged the government to release additional funds to NAFCO.
We heard that NAFCO have announced producer prices for farmers to sell their produce to them. Unfortunately, the budget that NAFCO wanted to allocate this activity, they've gotten less than 10% of it. Meaning there's a chunk of rice that we are not able to get farmers rice. And there are rice farmers all over the country who are still struggling because NAFCO do not have the capacity to absorb all the rice in the system. So if this situation persists, what will happen is that for the next planting season, we are going to discourage farmers from producing rice because they know that when they produce rice, there is no immediate market for them. And all their investments would have gone to waste. So as much as possible, I will call on governments, I will call on the president and the agriculture minister to, as a matter of urgency, quickly allocate a lot of resources to NAFCO. The amount given to NAFCO is woefully inadequate, and we can't throw them on the ground. The farmers are still complaining that they do not have access to any of the companies that have been assigned to buy the rice. And in some instances, we have seen that because of the lack of buyers, the prices are dropping further.
Bismarck Norte is the acting executive director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. Stakeholders in the technology space have called for the enforcement of biometric verification across all public and private institutions to strengthen Ghana's fight against fraud and digital impersonation. According to Kwesi Bading, Deputy CEO of Margins ID Group, the next phase of Ghana's digital identity journey must focus on enforcement and alignment. Speaking at the Morbex Africa Tech Innovation Conference 2025 in Accra, he said that while Ghana has built a robust national identity infrastructure through the Ghana card system, its full benefits will only be realized when institutions consistently use it to authenticate users and transactions.
Identity is not a document, it is a governance instrument. It is the architecture that allows the state to operate with clarity, fairness, and accountability. The next stage requires policy alignment and consistent enforcement so that the nation captures the full economic and operational benefits of what has been built. Ghana's model shows that an African country can build and operate a trusted digital identity ecosystem with its own expertise, resources, and infrastructure. That is why other African states are coming to learn from Ghana, not as a donor experiment, not as a foreign dependency, but a sovereign capability that can be scaled responsibly across the continent.
Kwesi Bading is Deputy CEO of Margins ID Group. Leading automobile distributor and manufacturer Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, in collaboration with Forland, has officially launched the new Forland L5 light-duty truck onto the Ghanaian market. The Forland L5 is designed to deliver exceptional performance, making it an ideal choice for SMEs looking for dependable transport solutions for logistics and distribution. Speaking to Citi Business News on the sidelines of the launch, Jelly Bai, Director of Marketing at Zonda Tech Ghana, said the introduction of the new model underscores the company's commitment to strengthening Ghana's transport and logistics industry.
We want to take this opportunity, also have invite some of our clients to come in and have a look at it. And this is our Forland manufacturing people. He also here to promote our brand, a new model, L5 model, which is very man diesel and a very quality model coming in the market. So we also want to recommend this one. Also as well, today we want to have a promotion for our clients to thanks for them coming here. You know, from Forland product, we have 3 tones and 4 tone, 5 tone, 6 tone, 8 tone, 12 tone, 15 tone, all above. And especially I want to recommend our 3-tone cargo here. The 3-tone, especially we are enjoy Ghana auto policy, so it's tax-free. It's very cost-effective, and the flat one, the Forland, the 3 tones, we are only selling $18,000, and the cargo type, and we are only selling $21,000 because of the auto policy. So the price is very low and very economic.
That was Jelly Bai, Director of Marketing at Zonda Tech Ghana. That's it for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejibi Biafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Ah, ma, have you received the delivery?
Sis, yeah, the rider's bay. Send in the momo.
Okay, *17.
Power call. Don't you use a smartphone? Use the momo app, ne?
Huh? Aba app.
Hey, I want to say a millennium, say millennial. Inyim. Oh, millennium for ya nyaze. Switch to the app. Oh, you're smart. No, you're secure.
Enter a world of possibilities with the Momo app. Pay your favorite merchant, pay utility bills, and borrow from our wide range of lending services. Move to the app side today. MTN.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you ready to unlock the next big thing? It's a universe of endless possibilities. Get ready to be part of this universe.
Attention all Christian business leaders and professionals. The God as CEO Business Encounter is here again. Come on board as we explore the theme, Succeeding God's Way in a Corrupt Business Environment. Leading the conversations are Dak Dwyer, President and CSO, God as CEO International, Tuchi Goka Ivoi, CEO, Ghana Commodity Exchange, Bernard Avle, General Manager, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, Esther Koba, CEO, Stratcom Africa, Emmanuel Baba Mahama, National President, Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International, and Paula Isiedu Ofori, Company Secretary, MTN Ghana. Join us for a transformational experience. Date 9th November 2024. Time 9 a.m. prompt. Venue UPSA Auditorium Accra. To attend, log on to godasceo.org/Africa/Accra to register. See you there.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Hello and welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandama. Tonight on Point Blank, Parliament has resumed. On day one, the Speaker allowed the leaders of the House to address members. So the two leaders, the minority leader and the majority leader, did an address. We're going to hear a summary of what they had to tell the House of Parliament. We'll first hear from a Futu MP, who is Minority Leader Alexander Penyomakin. Then we'll hear from Boku Central MP, who is Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga.
Mr. Speaker, on the 8th of September, the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Kwame Bafo Abronye, popularly known as Abronye DC, was arrested and detained on charges that appear politically motivated. The court ruling in this case raises deeper constitutional questions. In delivering judgment, the presiding judge, His Lordship Aqua, cited George Orwell's Animal Farm, observing that, quote, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others, unquote, and went on to quote the late President Robert Mugabe, purportedly, quote, I can assure you of freedom of speech, but cannot assure you of freedom after speech, end quote. Mr. Speaker, these remarks to us as the minority, coming from the bench, convey an unsettling message that equality before the law and freedom of expression may no longer be treated as fundamental rights, but as privileges subject to interpretation and power. Such reasoning, if left unchecked, sets a worrying precedent for democratic governance and judicial independence. The use of Orwell and supposed quote from Mugabe to rationalize the restriction of free speech undermines the spirit of our constitution, which guarantees every citizen the right to express opinion without fear of reprisal. Ghana's courts have long stood as the last line of defense for liberty, and any departure from that role risks eroding public confidence in justice itself. The minority, therefore, finds this trend dangerous and calls for restraint, reflection, and a renewed commitment to fairness, equality, and the true meaning of freedom under the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, The minority registers its unequivocal objection to the removal of the Chief Justice, Mrs. Gertrude Araba Esaba Saki Tokonu. We believe the process lacked transparency, violated constitutional principles, and set a dangerous precedent for judicial interference. 3 separate petitions were referred to the Puaman Committee. The committee only had 1 petition, then adjourned proceedings for continuation on the 15th of September. Yet, without notice to any party in the matter, the committee suddenly submitted a report on the 1st of September, and within 2 hours, an announcement was made of a removal. Was that adjournment a deception, Mr. Speaker? Even more troubling was a warrant of the suspension. It claimed to have made a prima facie determination, but to date, no one has seen such document, and this raises serious constitutional questions. The so-called Puaman report remains a secret document. We, the minority, shall not relent on our demand for a copy and a full disclosure of this report. Mr. Speaker, this matter goes beyond one individual. If this false and irregular process succeeds, it endangers every independent constitutional body. The Auditor General, the Electoral Commission, the National Commission for Civic Education, and even the Public Services Commission could be targeted next under the same Article 146 procedure. The question that must even be asked, that when a person is removed as a Chief Justice, that he or she remain a Justice of the Supreme Court. This will destroy the safeguards of accountability and erase the principle of probity from our governance. If judicial independence can be manipulated in this manner, we should not expect free or credible elections in future. Mr. Speaker, the judiciary is the last line of defense for our democracy, and any act that undermines its independence strikes at the heart of our constitutional order. The minority will resist any attempt to compromise the sanctity of the judiciary. Ghana's institutions must be protected from political manipulation, and we will not sit idly by while dangerous precedents are set. On the issue of illegal mining, we, the minority, are of the view that this represents one of Ghana's gravest governance challenges that has persisted across successive governments and which has escalated into a full-blown national crisis is the menace of illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. The devastation caused by galamsey to our environment, water bodies, and public health cannot be overstated. Even as we convene today, Mr. Speaker, our rivers run brown with pollution. Vast tracts of once fertile land lies carried and toxic, and many of our citizens in mining communities face illness and danger from poisonous chemicals. We have talked about illegal mining for years, yet the problem has only grown worse. Time for mere talk is over. We need decisive, visionary action now to save our country's future from disaster. Not long ago, we were warned. One such early warning came in 2010 when investigative journalist Anas Arimayew Anas released a documentary exposing the dark underbelly of galamsey. That expose, part of the Africa Investigate series, shone a light on the tragic consequences of illegal mining that were already evident back then. The documentary recounted how in June 2010, a galamsey pit near Dunkwa Onofin flooded, killing an estimated 150 people in a single disaster. It showed the rampant corruption and complicity that allowed galamsey to flourish, including officials meant to enforce the law taking bribes to look the other way. It highlighted the environmental havoc being unleashed, rivers poisoned with mercury, cyanide and other toxins, local communities suffering flooding and pollution, fishermen and farmers losing their livelihood. Anas's work in 2010 was an early warning alert for our nation. Then again in 2015, Finance Minister Honorable Septekpe again brought this up at the Finance Committee hearing in Parliament when discussing reasons for the declining cocoa production in Ghana. Tragically, Mr. Speaker, those warnings were not heeded with the urgency and seriousness they deserved. Fast forward, today, the nightmare scenario is upon us. Just last month, new study by Pure Earth and Ghana's own EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, revealed terrifying data about toxin levels in mining communities. In some areas, mercury contamination in the soil is 134 times above safe levels, and arsenic concentration are over 4,000% higher than what the WHO deems safe. These poisonous metals are seeping into the water, into food crops, into the very bodies of our people. Doctors are reporting an uptick in children from mining areas developing kidney disorders and even finding mercury pellets in their x-rays. Children, Mr. Speaker, now require dialysis because of the poisonous fruits of galamsey. Our nation's future is being sickened and stunted. Mr. Speaker, despite being Ghana's top gold producer, the surge in unregulated small-scale mining has created an underground economy that drains national resources and benefits criminal networks. In just 8 months this year, small-scale gold exports surged to over $6.3 billion, according to the CEO of Ghana Gold Board. However, much of this trade is believed to be illicit. The state loses billions in revenue while communities suffer environmental devastation. The minority stands with all Ghanaians, calling for decisive action. We welcome the advocacy from civil society and religious leaders, and we support real solutions from tougher laws to sustainable alternatives. Preaching has worsened since this government came into office. At the 2025 May Day celebrations, organized labor, speaking through its Secretary General, confronted this matter with deep disappointment that the galamsey menace has worsened under the watch of this government. Barely 5 months.
95% of Ghanaians believe that our macroeconomic performance, yes, our macroeconomic performance has met or exceeded expectations. Indeed, even members of the MPP cannot deny the fact that the indicators are looking very, very good. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, we in the NDC are governing well. The President of Imani, Franklin Kujo, on July 5th, 2025, strongly endorsed President John Dramani Mahamed's recent decision to scrap fuel allowances and allocations for all political appointees, describing it as a wonderful initiative. So many wonderful initiatives that should be codified into law to prevent future reversals. So far, so excellent. On October 10th, 2025, the IMF stated that Ghana's economy is rebounding faster than anticipated, with macroeconomic stabilization taking root following a strong performance in the first half of 2025, underpinned by strong services activity, agricultural output, and others. So far, so excellent. The IMF has also lauded Ghana on recent stabilization of the cedi. On May 7, 2025, Bloomberg rated the Ghana cedi as the best performing currency in the second quarter. Bloomberg rated the Ghana cedi as the best performing currency in the second quarter. So far, so excellent. The positive endorsement of policies and programs this House approved keep coming locally and internationally. During a high-level meeting in Washington, D.C., the African Development Bank President, Dr. Citi Uta, described the Gold Board under the new President John Dramani Mahama-led administration as a timely innovation that aligns with the African Development Bank's efforts to promote responsible resource management and fiscal sustainability. So far, so excellent. The economist, chartered accountant, and banker, Dr. Akwesi Ajiman, in his mid-year economic review of 2025, stated that Ghana's political reset in 2025 has coincided with an unmistakable economic rebound. Inflation is easing, the Ghana Citi has steadied, business activity is picking up, and this grants the new administration its first real chance to rewrite the country's stop-start growth story. Mr. Speaker, to cap it all, Mr. Speaker, we are going to the World Cup in America. So far, so excellent. So much has been achieved so far within a short time, but a lot remains to be done. We are not out of the woods yet, and many things must change. Recently, we placed senior high school students. The lobby to get into grade A schools reveals a malaise that must be fixed in our educational sector. There must be no grade A school and no grade B schools. We spend equally on all teachers in all schools. We in this parliament must do whatever it takes to fix all schools and demand equal performance. We pay equally to all schools. This house must begin to demand accountability and the greatest standards of performance from all our services: education service, health service, judicial service, and all the public services of Ghana. Reforming attitudes there must engage our attention. The reset agenda must permeate our public services. Mr. Speaker, the story of Ghana is now being told in a positive light on all international platforms. The reset agenda of President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC party is on course. This House will sustain the agenda in this meeting. We will demand accountability for past acts of corruption and abuse of power and gross mismanagement of the economy. We will demand the full implementation of the report of Operation Recover or Loot. Right, Honourable Speaker, my team has engaged the various sector ministers with a view to understand the weight of government business to be brought before us during this meeting. If they all receive the expected cabinet approvals, we could have a heavy legislative program in addition to the usual very involving consideration of the national budget. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Health has planned to seek approval for some legislation including regulations: the National Health Insurance Regulations, National Vaccine Institute Regulation, Ghana Medical Trust Fund Regulation, Allied Health Professional Council Regulations, and others. The Ministry of Education will seek the passage of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, change of university names. Mr. Speaker, there's been a cabinet directive to change the names of all the universities that were changed to individuals back to the names that they were given. A bill we brought to this House to change and reverse all the changes of the names of the universities. Mr. Speaker, the ministry will also seek this House approval for the passage of the Ghana Book Development Council Bill, the University of Engineering and Agricultural Science Bonsu Bill, College of Education Amendment Bill, Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply Chain Bill, the National Teaching Council Regulations, National Council for Curriculum and Assessment Regulations, National Schools Inspectorate Authority Regulations, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission Regulations, and others. The Ministry of Transport will seek passage of the Road Traffic Amendment Bill, the Road Traffic Amendment Regulations, Road Traffic Amendment, Ghana Shippers Authority Regulations, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Bill, ratification of the African Road Safety Charter, and others. The Ministry of Interior will seek the expeditious passage of the Security Intelligence Agencies Bill, the Immigration Service Amendment Regulations, Prison Service Parole Regulations, and the Gaming Regulations, Diaspora Birthright Certificate Bill, Community Service Bill, and the Extradition Bill. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will want us to ratify a number of mining leases. These will include the ratification of mining leases in respect of Pesos Mining Ghana Limited, Clean Jobs Ghana Limited, TMC Limited, GM Group of Companies Limited, Golden Star Wasa Limited, Zagog Gold Limited, Gadriato Group of Companies Limited, Maripomo Mining Services Limited, and Bari DV Ghana Limited. They also program to bring before us the Wildlife Resource Management Regulations 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, let me at this juncture mention that whilst we were away on recess, the issue of illegal mining, referred to as Galamsey, became very topical. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama spoke to the nation in a media interaction and outlined progress made so far for the multiple approaches of government to deal with this matter. During this meeting, this House will build the needed collaboration and coalition of MPs to join the fight against Galamsey. After all, it is happening in our various constituencies and by our various constituents. We perhaps hold the key to solving this problem. In this regard, we will demand full accountability of the Minerals Commission and the Environmental Protection Agencies in the way mining prospecting licenses are awarded and leases issued and the environmental implications thereof. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has some international agreements which we will be called upon to consider for ratification. Some are the visa waiver agreements between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the Republic of Algeria, Republic of Angola, and the Republic of Serbia. Headquarters agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and Afrobarometer, and the presidential initiative to offer 1,000 tertiary scholarships to ECOWAS citizens. Waiver of import duties and other taxes on vehicles for foreign service officers and analogous appointees, establishment and implementation of the Ghana Diaspora Bond Program, and membership in the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa Alliance. That's the BRICS Alliance. Let me mention that the issue of the need for parliamentary ratification of the agreement with the United States to receive ECOWAS citizens being repatriated back to the sub-region has been widely debated. If the appropriate legal advice to this House is that we should ratify it, we will consider so. But I can say with authority that the majority approves of the arrangement and highly commends government for negotiating the removal of the U.S. visa restrictions on Ghanaians. Given our business and social ties with America, these restrictions were going to be extremely burdensome to many Ghanaian businesses and families. The Ministry of Land, Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs will seek the passage of the Local Governance Amendment Bill, Coastal Development Authority Repeal Bill, Middle Belt Development Authority Repeal Bill, and the program that Ministry of Energy and Green Transition include the ratification and passage of National Petroleum Authority Bill, ratification of petroleum agreements in respect of Block GHB01 involving the Government of Ghana, GNPC Exploco, and TriStar Upstream Oil and Gas Limited. They will also seek the passage of the Nuclear Power Corporation Bill and then the Renewable Energy Authority Bill and the establishment of the Ghana Energy Regulatory Commission. They will also seek the passage of the West African Gas Pipeline Amendment Regulations. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection will seek the passage of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Regulations 2025 and the Social Protection Regulations. The Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice has a tall legislative program. They include the passage of the Tribunals Bill, the Legal Education Reform Bill, the Conduct of Public Officers Bill, Economic and Organized Crime Amendment Bill, Ghana Intellectual Property Office Bill, Interstate Succession Bill, Legal Profession Bill, Notaries Public Amendment Bill, State Property and Contracts Amendment Bill, Court of Appeal Rules, Economic and Organized Crime Office Operations Regulations, Economic and Organized Crime Office Terms and Conditions of Service Regulations, High Court Civil Procedure Amendment Rules, Interpretation Regulations, Legal Aid Commission Regulations, and others.
That's the Honorable Muhammad Yariga. He is majority leader, cataloging a number of items or bills that they intend to work on this parliament. Earlier you heard his colleague on the minority side, Alexander Penyo-Markins. Well, that's it by way of Eyewitness News tonight. It came to you from our studios in Accra on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sandamadu. I did this with a Jubi Wiafia Kentin. Production by Bevlin London, Sami Wiafe, Kobina Wilson, Fred Tete Jabano. Nikwate Kwoti was our technical producer for tonight. The new media team supported our live stream. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. If you missed any part of the show, we played back at midnight, so you can listen again. Thank you for listening and have a good night.